this intro music that's rocking right now.
Nope.
Are we live right now?
Are we live now?
Are we doing a show?
Mr. Producer?
Hey.
Our 1 foot producer. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Cross Politics on the Midweek Fix. I'm wearing glasses because I have eye problems. And it's not because I'm Hollywood.
You been fighting with an angel?
No, yeah. Angel touched my eye.
Oh, yeah, he touched something.
And so thank you for joining us. Make sure you share the show right now. And before we get into everything, make sure you also sign up for our magazine. The next issue drops in June. First couple weeks in June, we have Rosaria Butterfield writing an article for us. Rachel Jankovic.
Yeah.
Right?
Luke's supposed to be on that too, I thought.
I
think she tried to rope her husband into that, so that'd be really good.
Well, Luke should be there.
You know why, though? Because she says most of the time when people talk about feasting, it's not necessarily the women that have a problem with it, it's the husbands.
Why?
Right? And so
why do the husbands have a problem with it?
If you can get the husbands, they don't get the husbands to engage, and so then it makes it a little bit harder. So it's not.
It looks really funny with him with the sunglasses on.
You're sharing the show? I gotta
sunglasses.
I'm gonna go see.
You should share the show just because Gabe's wearing
just because I'm wearing sunglasses
in the studio because his eye looks weird.
Because you don't want me to take the sunglasses off. Trust me.
Actually, no, that's a good point though about the hospitality thing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things like education as well.
Yes,
things in the home that
the husband tends to kind
of frequently are lazy cowards about.
That's right,
and they let their women just run everything. And then they wonder why they're not happy.
Yeah.
Why they're not synced up. But men need to lead that. Now, you can delegate a lot of it to your wife to help you run. But you got to be on the same team, pulling in the same direction. We're educating our children this way. Honey, here's the play we're going to run. We're going to have these people over. This is going to be this is our schedule for hospitality. This is what we're going to do. We're on the same team. And because you're responsible for it. But if you're just saying, whatever you want to do, honey, or let's have everybody over, but then afterwards you're just sleeping on the couch while she's doing the cleanup. You are not setting up your family for success. So that's I'm looking forward to reading that.
That's why you need the magazine subscription.
And one of the things too women can do as well is there's a godly pressure that wives can put on their husband, which is like my wife did this to me when it came to baptism. She was like, so this is an issue, it's coming up. I'm going to sit back here and wait until you go before the Lord and tell us what we about to do. Okay. Let me
go pray about it then.
I got to go figure this out all of a sudden.
Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so, but women can do that, but she didn't jump and say, okay, we're going to go to this church. She just said, I'm going to put the pressure on you and pray God gives you wisdom as we move along in this decision. That's some pressure.
And that's not the same.
Good.
That's not the same thing as saying, I'll wait here until you come back with the answer I want.
Right.
Which is sometimes an ungodly pressure.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But there is a godly kind of thing saying, this is coming up. What's it going to be? Mm-hmm. You're going to lead us.
Yeah, we're raising souls.
That's right.
And so,
how are we going to do this?
How are we going to do it?
Man, September is coming fast.
Right.
Fast. Our next conference is September 9th through the 11th.
Yeah.
Politics of Sex. It's in Lebanon, Tennessee.
I thought it was just Lebanon.
Not Lebanon.
I thought it was just
Lebanon, Tennessee.
I don't trust Gabe.
No. We've been rebuked multiple times online.
It's just Lebanon.
Lebanon? Okay.
Lebanon is what I'm going with.
But Lebanon.
No.
Okay.
No.
So Lebanon, Tennessee. Tennessee, September 9th through the 11th.
It's like
Politics
Clemson.
of Sex.
It's like Clemson.
We got, I'm just moving on. I'm going on. We got Doug Tenaple, Dave Bonson, Pastor Wilson, Pastor Toby, and we got 15 breakout sessions we're working on Saturday.
15? Are you serious?
And we got some surprises, some surprise
we're
cards.
We're not calling them
pulling.
breakout sessions. We got to figure out something else.
Figure out something else. We're going to have a whole experience in this conference. Breakdown.
We'll work that for now.
We're pretty excited about
sessions.
the unique conference that we've been offering. There's going to be thousands of us there.
Well,
join us.
You just prophesying or prophet-lying?
Well, based off what happened last time, there's going to be thousands of people there. So registration will be available and open in June. So stand by. You want to get in it.
He is blind now. He's wearing the sunglasses.
I'm not blind.
He's like blind, and so like that's what a lot of the prophets in the old literature they were Tiresias and so on. They're always kind of blind because now they can see.
Yeah.
Right.
So are you saying everyone should listen to me about coming to our conference? Is that what?
Yeah, of course.
That's what it is.
I always agree with you on that.
Chick-fil-A is running out of sauce.
Why?
Was this news?
Demand. Why would Chick-fil-A not run out of sauce?
They've been in demand for a long time. But Chick-fil-A Day, that was a huge demand. They didn't run out of sauce then. Why did they run out of sauce now?
They're prepared for it.
Is this like the gas shortage? Or is this like not that at all?
I don't know, actually.
Did they turn off a pipeline?
I don't know if
was
it's connected. I don't know if it's connected to the gas shortage.
Was there a cyber attack on their supply station?
Listen, all I know is so Warriors in the Garden, we did that. And then the thread on Warriors in the Garden, everybody's talking back and forth. Yeah. I see that some people went to go have chicken.
What?
Some brothers went to go to a chicken restaurant and order what? How much chicken? How much chicken did you guys order? Couple dozens and couldn't get chicken.
At a chicken restaurant.
Yeah, because there was a shortage of chicken. So we got a shortage of chicken.
And chicken sauce.
And we got a shortage of chicken. Listen, y'all can play all you want to. You start messing with my chicken and my chicken sauce.
My sauce making me mad. They're only giving one sauce per customer now. Right now.
Wait, no. So, like, you guys seen some of these video clips of people with the gas. Like, they're like, like there's a run.
And they got gas cans.
People are like filling everything.
Did you see the clip where the lady was filling up a plastic bag full of gas?
I did.
It was an older clip.
So, did people do this with Chick-fil-A sauce? Somebody's hoarding Chick-fil-A sauce somewhere?
Well, no, I think what's going on, and this is happening at restaurants too, people are going to restaurants and can't get service for 2.5 hours because nobody's going to work. The shortage is ketchup right now. There's a problem with ketchup because they can't get people to fulfill the orders.
Right. So we've drastically screwed up the supply chains through this whole coronavirus shutdown.
Right.
Drastically.
Right.
And
you mean to tell me that how many $5 trillion or $6 trillion we dumped in the economy is not helping the economy?
No.
Well,
wait. You sure?
Well, but here's what happened even before that. All the governors told you to stay home and not work,
right?
And then we dump money into the economy
to pay people to stay home.
So
and
you
not
have
work.
all this excess cash in the economy, but you have no supply and no new product meeting that demand.
Sure.
And so this is how we actually are experiencing, I think, some artificial kind of inflation right now, because what is the cost of OSB board right now? $60 a sheet.
Yeah.
For something when it's usually like 20, 18, 15. I remember when I was in construction, it was $8 a sheet.
Wow. We are seeing hikes in prices right now that we hadn't seen since 2008.
Right. But inflation, the definition of inflation is basically you have more cash than goods to buy.
Right. Yeah. And so
more money than goods,
and the prices go through the roof.
And we've artificially created that problem,
right,
where we've given everybody stimulus checks
and told everybody to stay home and not make stuff.
And so the manufacturing supply lines are really bad.
Right.
But guys, we stopped the virus.
wait, say that again.
We stopped the virus.
Can we make that a stinger?
We absolutely saved the world. We saved the world.
And what's happened is now you have there's 7 states right now. They're all Republican states, which is I guess this is a good thing, where they've cut off federal unemployment benefits.
They're canceling the emergency.
They're canceling the unemployment benefits that were going to incentivize people to stay home from work.
Well, even Biden was asked at a press conference, do you think that the fact that you saw that? Fact that the unemployment is hindering people from going back to work? And he's like, no, not at all.
Yeah.
No signs
no, it's like this. No.
That's true.
Not
and then
not
they
at
said,
all.
quickly, Biden, over here, get off the stage.
They asked you a hard question and you lied.
But I mean, you can't. One leads to the other. Like, you can't give people money to stay at home. First of all, you can't tell people that if you go to work, you're going to kill everybody around you, or you might die yourself.
Right.
So stay home.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is make sure that when you stay home, your life is going to work properly. You're going to get money.
Right.
And then all of us can tell everybody, look, we got a solution in this vaccine.
Right.
It's a little iffy. Hadn't really tested this RNA
Hadn't
stuff
gone
out
through full
before.
FDA approval.
But if you take this shot, we can get you back to work. And so people are taking the shot, but they're like, yeah, I'm not going back to work because you still give me a whole bunch of money.
Right.
What do you think's going to happen?
Right.
What do you think's going to happen? Of course, people, I mean, we haven't understood. We have no good anthropology. Like, if you don't work, you shouldn't eat. Like, that's what the Bible says. Yeah. And so we don't have a good
when
anthropology.
You're forced not to work.
We think that we can put a disruption into God's plan, and all of a sudden things are still going to work properly.
Right.
Which is why we have such a huge homeless problem right now in California.
Yeah.
Right? And so California right now is struggling. I think that, what was it? Governor Newsom is trying to do a $12 billion homeless deal.
Yeah.
$12 billion. Yeah. Well, looking at him trying to do this deal, first of all, is him trying to curry favor.
Yeah.
Because he knows
he's getting ousted big time.
Yeah. He's trying to figure out.
So in the recall thing, does he get to run again?
No.
Are you sure?
If he's officially recalled. So what happens is it actually, so now there's a recall ballot that goes out.
Yeah.
And then if he gets, basically if they vote not to have him continue as governor, I'm not quite sure how the language is going to sort out in the ballot, then they go to a special election.
All those signatures were to get a recall ballot out.
Yes.
and basically they're going to vote up or down, keep Newsom or not.
Yes, as I understand it.
Okay.
And then they have.
If there are any freedom-loving people in California, correct us. Let us know what's going on.
And then he's not allowed to be on the ballot
if he's been recalled.
If he's been recalled.
All right, but so this is a time right now to dump money into California to try to win votes.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I don't know if I take it that way. I don't know if I take the $12 billion package that he says he promises he's going to end family homelessness in 5 years. It's
family homelessness
in 5 years, but California spends hundreds of billions of dollars on the homeless right now.
What were you saying about the first of the month?
Before
we started,
I can't remember. We brought this up on the show before, but we have a friend down in. We have actually several cop friends down in California, but one in the Bay Area, where he said that at the first of every month, all the cops know that they call it zombie apocalypse.
Really?
Because all the homeless get their paychecks, they go and buy their drugs because they got their money again,
right?
And they go and buy their drugs, and then for like the next 3 to 7 days, he said the homeless are just kind of walking around like zombies because they're all lit up.
Wow.
So wait, how are they? What is how they just giving them?
They just
money.
get money.
Yeah.
So they show up
because they're homeless.
They're poor. They're homeless. They meet certain. They're under certain thresholds, and they can go get a paycheck.
So, Pastor, if you got a church, let's say right now, let's just work this backwards.
You got a church in San Francisco?
You got a church right there. Okay, I know that's laughable.
We just got firebombed. It's gone. Okay.
But this is the situation you're currently in,
right?
And you got this huge homeless problem. What are you teaching your people to do to try and solve the problem in light of what the government's doing right now? So you got two different problems. First, you got the government making the problem worse
when helping hurts,
and
right?
then so when you try and come in,
I think what I'm trying to do is teach my people to build homes and businesses in which they are providing for their own very well.
Yeah.
That are places of grace and forgiveness and hard work and excellence. Those kind of homes, those kinds of households, those kinds of businesses are places where there is always extra to give.
Praise God.
And now you're in a position to begin befriending neighbors, befriending even the homeless, befriending people who need a home, who need a family, and then but it has to be sort of this two-pronged approach. Both the gospel has to change hearts, and at the same time, you also need to have structures and a sort of a current to welcome people into. And that's what I think that's the best you would be doing.
The problem is when the government gives, it's toxic charity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's toxic. So it makes it worse.
You also have a process of preaching the gospel in such a way that the person realizes their worth again, because they don't understand that they're not for this. God didn't make them to be and live this particular way. God made them to be useful and create products and value for other people in that sense. So you have another discipleship process.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by bringing them into something is you bring them into a family, bring them into the church community, bring them into businesses where there's real accountability, but also the joy of being human again.
Yes.
Is experienced, where it's you can work hard, you can enjoy the fruit of your labors, and you've blessed other people. Because of the gospel, because Jesus died and rose again, because your sins are forgiven. This is what it means to live life to the fullest.
And this is such a full problem too, because it's not just them giving free money to the homeless. It's also the fact that
those are chains.
Those are chains.
It's not free money. It's chains.
And also minimum wage is also a problem as well. So if I wanted to hire a homeless man who could work for a lower wage because he doesn't produce the value of $15 or $20 an hour value for me yet, if I can hire 15 guys to get them to start understanding their worth at a lower wage, like $5, $6, $7 an hour, you know what I mean? Something that can get them to
or two,
right? And whatever we come to an agreement with, they won't let me do that. So the way that I can actually help restore the humanity of a person in work, they won't let me.
Well, I was at Logos School this morning listening to senior theses. First of all, just plug for Logos School and classical education. I was a judge for 2 senior theses, one of which was on the history of minimum wage.
Yeah.
This girl did a great job in tracing, the origin of minimum wage laws was eugenics.
Yeah.
All of the early proponents of minimum wage laws explicitly proposed them in order to keep the down and out, the disabled, the feeble-minded, and minorities out of the workforce. And to protect the jobs of whatever, the white male or whatever.
This is the same reason behind
ideal
unions.
race. Okay, what's that?
This is the same thing that happened behind unions. Same reasoning that happened behind
exactly.
unions.
Exactly.
Unions are naturally racist.
It was the same thing. But so basically, we have done. Minimum wage from the beginning was an attempt basically to try to weed out the undesirables from society, to keep them out.
Yeah,
because they knew if you raise the wages, you aren't going to hire someone who can't output as much.
Exactly. Rather than if you abolish the minimum wage, you allow for there to be a free contract between employer and employee, and it allows then for people who are weaker, maybe don't have the work experience, are from another country, whatever. It allows them to enter the workforce at a place that's actually allowable. Rather than them having to be worth $15 an hour or $30 an hour
the jump.
This is the thing. This is the thing that bothers me so much about kind of the talk about social justice and those things like that. Because where there might actually be systemic problems, they can never find them.
This is systemic racism.
Yeah, how come they never are pointing to that?
Abortion, minimum wage,
unions,
gun legislation itself. How come they're not pointing to those things and saying,
if those things are on your social justice list, sign me up.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Get rid of minimum wage.
Get rid of abolish minimum wage, abolish abortion,
abolish gun legislation,
unions, and all gun legislation.
But they never point to those things to say that is systemic. That's a problem.
Because the social justice gospel that's proliferating in our evangelical churches is just soft socialism.
That's
all
right.
it is.
That's right.
All it is it's the talking points that the liberals gave them permission for. It's back to apparently we don't say this enough, but the church is a whore. Right? The modern evangelical church whores after worldly glory, and that's what the social justice gospel is. It's the church done up like a prostitute, in a red light district. We can be just as sexy as you, world. We can be just as intersectional as you, and that's what they're doing.
So here's something I want to ask you real quick before we go, because we got to go real quick. Right now, speaking of whoring, we look at Gavin Newsom and what he's doing. He's
$12 billion homeless packages.
That's the price that he's offering out, right?
Why 12? He should be doing $20 billion.
So don't worry. Don't help him. Don't
give him ideas.
Stop it right now. But there are things when we see something like that. I always want to go back into my own personal, like, where am I taking the bribe? Where am I taking?
That's right.
Where am I? But so right now, the child tax thing is coming up, and it's really interesting because they're universal wage. What do they call that? The universal
income.
Yes. That's coming. But the way they're doing is really sly.
Yeah, you pointed this out. I appreciate you pointing this out.
What they're doing is giving you your tax credit. What we're going to do is give that to you every month now.
Right.
And then we're going to raise that credit. So now it's about, what is it? Somewhere between 3 and 6. They're arguing about it. $100 a kid.
Right.
I'm about to rack up. First of all, I just want y'all to know that I'm doing real good. I won't even need a job by the time they done giving me my monthly wage.
So so the child tax credit is something at the end of the year on your IRS, tax return, where you just say, I got 3 children, and then I get discounted this much amount of dollars on my taxes when I submit everything. Right.
Right, Ray Charles. Something like that, yeah. For the most part, that's what it is. Yeah, don't do that. But what they're doing now, is saying, why don't we take this to kind of warm people up to the idea of universal pay.
They're cranking it up. They're increasing it.
They're increasing the number.
And they're starting to pay it out in monthly increments.
So now you just get a check every month.
So people are getting used to getting a government check.
Okay, so knowing that that's what they're doing and that money's coming, what do you do with that money and so that you don't become a slave to it and addicted to it, because you can't push it away. You can't get rid of it. It's like the money they gave us during the coronavirus. It just shows up in your account.
Yeah.
What is your options here so that you're not a slave to the state, or you're not, because that's their money. They're paying you off.
Right. They're paying you off.
You're their whore.
This is wicked.
It's bribery.
Yeah.
It's
bribery.
Yeah. With your own money.
And the short, yeah, right. No, it's your grandkids' money, or and it's what I think the short answer is, you must not take it in any sort of way that would make you depend on it or need it.
Yeah.
I think you need to give it away. put it somewhere, whatever. But like, it's not. Do not let them say you need this every month. Right. Whatever you do with it, it can't be that. Right. It can't be
something that you like. It pays your bills for. Yeah.
And this is something I actually meant to say earlier when you asked the question about you have a church in San Francisco.
Yeah.
One of the key things when I say build families, build businesses, they need to be completely independent.
That's right.
Of the government.
That's right.
As much as possible, make them completely independent. Make them anti-fragile. Make them, So when and you can't do this exhaustively, but what you want to be doing is building Christian communities where we really are beginning to build small towns, small cities, where we are helping provide for one another, where if there is a shortage of stuff, you're beginning to have networks of people, maybe even across the country,
right?
Where we say, we're not going woke and we're not dependent on the government and we're going to provide for one another.
That's true.
Samaritan Ministries is doing this with healthcare sharing, right. Which is one simple way of doing it, where it's just saying Christians are going to help pay each other's medical bills.
Right.
And we have this covenant and this agreement to do it. But Christian businessmen need to be thinking this way across supply lines. What do you need to make your business thrive? What do you need to make your family thrive? You need the church, and then the church, though, outside the halls of the church is the kingdom.
Yeah.
And there in the kingdom, we need to be thinking anti-fragile. We need to be thinking in terms of as this whole thing continues to crumble, and fall apart with a senile old man at the helm.
Yeah.
How are we going to be able to provide for one another? But I think goes back to your question. I would say, do not take the bribe.
Yeah.
Right.
It's at the point where I used to be able to there are certain things you actually can reject on your IRS form.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it's paying off your taxes, maybe that's fine, whatever. Let it pay off your taxes. But in terms of you
don't become dependent
on the dole. If you don't have this, then you're stuck. You need to reject that kind of dependency.
Okay, so would it be fair to take something like this and then invest it in such a way that when your kids become a certain age, they'll be able to pay off whatever debt that they?
Right.
How do you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out good.
Yeah.
Because
open up a savings account for your kid or
everybody's talking about be dependent on it, but when that money show up, it's a whole nother story.
Right.
Don't I mean, if you need it,
right.
This is Pharaoh.
Right.
Hey, stay right here. We got you.
Yeah,
the stakes are good.
It's good. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to figure out great things. And if you guys know ways to do this where you're not dependent on it, where it builds. But I love to have this conversation. I want to talk to Mike Sherrill from C12 too, because talking about building the organization.
Remember this money. I mean, half of it they're making up. They're just printing it up, and again taking it from your kids and from your grandkids. And so there's an argument there to I'll stuff it in a savings account so that they have something to work with.
Yeah.
But remember, they're also taking it from other people right now.
Right.
They're stealing it from other people
to give it to you.
Right. That income redistribution, it's called theft.
Yeah.
It's socialism.
Yeah.
And God hates it. Right. And you're in the system, and I know you can't be completely untainted by it, but nevertheless, you should hate it, and you should be taking objective steps to lead your family to hate it,
right,
and to not be dependent on it.
Right.
I think one of the things that I'm watching, we don't hate it, and one of the ways I can prove we don't hate it is the government schools. Yeah. Right now, Christians are sending their kids to government schools, and that's one of the easiest things right now that we could attack and say, okay, how do I start learning to be self-sufficient just in the idea of educating my own children? Right, that's a good. If you're not practicing these smaller things, when the government sends you $4,500 every month, like they'd be probably sending me more. $400 to $500 to $5,000 a month, and you're looking at that, it's like that's almost more money than I make. You know what I mean? And you're like, wait a second.
Right, and now we're back to what's this going to do to our culture? So if you take this money, what's it going to do? I mean, we just talked about all the the whatever $5 or $6 trillion that they sent out.
Yeah, no Chick-fil-A sauce.
Completely screw up the economy.
Yep.
This is just more of that.
Yeah, so if we're not disciplining ourselves and practicing taking these bribes from the very small level, the very beginning levels, education, then I don't think we're going to be able to take not be able to take these bribes at a bigger level.
No.
Oh, we got so much practice to be doing. Yep. All right, more cross politic coming up on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to commercial.
I
was like, no, we're done. We're done.
Listen, Ray Charles, mind your own business.
If
you're single, get married. If you're married, have kids. If you have kids, go baptize them. Until Sunday, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politic. Keep those on all day. I don't want to see that eye at all.